Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our channel once again. There is a question I really wanted to ask you guys, and maybe you could provide an answer. I'm unable to get the answer to it. Why do you think William Ruto is now moving from the mountain and is headed towards the lake and the Mulembe nation? Why do you think he's making that move? Because in 2022, William Ruto's game plan was very simple and straight to the point. Consolidate the Rift Valley, get hold of the mountain, and William Ruto did everything possible to ensure that the mountain remained with him. Out of 7 days in a week, William Ruto would camp in the mountain 5 days. Let me ask you, when was the last time you saw William Ruto in the mountain? When was the last time? Because even last Sunday, he was supposed to be there. He cancelled that trip, which confirms that William Ruto is now moving away from the mountain. Let me take you back to 2013 so that we can understand something. In 2013, William Ruto and Uhuru Kenyatta competed against Raila Odinga. By that time, most Kenyans believed that in 2007, Mwai Kibaki had actually denied Raila Odinga his victory. Raila Odinga was very strong. Then they came up with a theory with the help of Mutai, what they were calling the tyranny of numbers. In that tyranny of numbers, Mutai explained to the country that it's not possible to defeat a combined Mount Kenya and the Kalenjin nation. In fact, there was no theory there. It was just part of a rigging scheme, because when the IBC registration came up, they also came up with another theory that Raila Odinga's strongholds did not really register to vote. So my question is, why would William Ruto now move away from the tyranny of numbers? Because politics, we all know, is a game of numbers. If numbers are in the mountain and numbers are in Rift Valley, why would William Ruto dump the mountain? Because even in 2022, if the mountain had not voted for Ruto, I'm not sure whether Ruto would be the president of the Republic of Kenya today, even if he was to rig. It would not have been possible for him. And because in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence. Sorry, power's gone. And because in politics, nothing happens out of mere coincidence, in this video, I want to explain to you guys why William Ruto has finally decided to move away from the mountain and is headed towards the lake. We don't know whether it's going to go into the lake and drown there, and also towards the Mulembe nation. But before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity to thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screen there for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. Ladies and gentlemen, let us dive in, and I want to head straight to the points. Why would William Ruto decide to dump the mountain and bank on a stronghold of Raila Odinga, which is not even sure of? Because you all know that in the last election, William Ruto got over 87% of the mountain. The votes from the mountain formed over 40% of the total votes William Ruto got. In fact, if the votes from the mountain had even reduced by 5%, William Ruto would today be in Sugoi. So why do you think he would decide to now focus on ODM strongholds and the Luhya nation? Number one, in my view, I think it's about the 2027 political formation. What formation can help William Ruto win in 2027? That is what is worrying William Ruto. William Ruto, in his mind, knows so well how he became the president. He became the president not necessarily because Kenyans voted for him, but because he was smarter than Azimio brigades. He was very smart. So William Ruto, in his own wisdom, has figured out that the mountain turned up in large numbers and voted for him. In 2027, it might not be the same. Of course, based on other factors. One of the factors is that within 5 years, maybe the mountain shall have realized that they were played. It's now 2 years, they've realized that this guy played us. There are many promises William Ruto made to the mountain. He has not fulfilled most of those promises. Of course, the mountain are also demanding a lot of things from the president, which the president has not been able to fulfill. And of course, remember, Ruto and lies. Sometimes lies also catch up with the people. So the mountain might not vote for him the way they voted. Then how can he secure the presidency? Simple. Persuade Raila Odinga to go for AU. Ask Raila Odinga to support you. Consolidate Raila Odinga support base, which is the Luo Nation, which is the coastal region, and maybe northern Kenya. And then the Luo Nation, because William Ruto has tried all the tricks to win the Luo votes without any success. So in my own view, it's about the political formation. And in 2027, I will not be surprised if William Ruto will go into that election with a running mate from the Luo Nation. I'm talking of Musalia Mudavadi, because that's the only sure way of winning the support of this side. If not Musalia Mudavadi, I don't want to rule out the possibility that William Ruto might even decide and nominate someone like Gladys Wanga as a running mate in 2027, just to win the support of the Luo Nation and of course the Luo Nation, because the mountain has totally drifted away from him. So that's number one. Number two, I think there is kind of blackmail from the mountain. They're blackmailing the president with so many demands. In fact, if you follow Rigathi Gachagwa's impeachment, one of the reasons why he's being impeached is because of Murema, the shares. When William Ruto was campaigning in the last election, he made promises. He entered into agreements with the mountain, with the Luo Nation, under what they were calling their shares. And the reality is now dawning on William Ruto that if he were to follow those promises, if you were to follow those agreements, and for example, the shares for the mountain, I don't know, they were 40%, I don't know. If he were to follow them, the rest of the country would not get even appointments. And maybe he has tried to explain this to Rigathi is not understanding, the mountain they're not understanding, and he's just tired with the blackmail because he cannot meet those demands. And of course, the mountain are justified, if you ask me, to make those demands. You told these guys, hii serikali inakuwa yenu. If you win, you are going to get this. So they are just justified, in my view, to make those demands. So for me, it's about the blackmail. Ruto is tired of the blackmail by the leaders from the mountain. Number three is something which is far-fetched, but is not far-fetched. Something is convincing me that William Ruto might actually engineer a constitutional change to a constitution. There is this bill by the Nandi Senator, Cherargei, where he's proposing to extend the term of the president and also the term of members of parliament by 7 years. Tell me which member of parliament can say no to such a kind of a proposal? None. None. And for you to change some of those things, you require a referendum. But sometimes you can interfere with these things through parliament, where you only need 2/3. And because William Ruto was able to easily get 2/3 during this Rigathi Gachagwa's impeachment in parliament, I don't see anything which can stop William Ruto from using parliament after securing two-thirds to effect these constitutional amendments. And that's why he has Raila Odinga on his side. Because the only people who always make noise are Raila Odinga supporters. Now Raila Odinga is silent. So it means these things can just happen. And that's politics. Number 4 is the fear of Mount Kenya factor in William Ruto's politics. And this one, I don't want to dwell much on it. William Ruto's politics is now dependent on the mountain. Fully. Because I don't think there is anything William Ruto will be able to do which can persuade Kenyans to vote for him. The mountain can then decide now to tilt the equation. The only challenge is that who can defeat William Ruto? Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, I'm not so sure. Jeremiah Kioni is just talking non-stop. The other day was like, there is no way William Ruto can impeach Rigathi Gachagua because he doesn't have the numbers. Rigathi Gachagua was easily impeached. And I was like, why would he talk like that when he doesn't have a party? Jubilee Party, no MP. Those who are there voted with Ruto. I mean, voted with Ruto, by the way, to impeach Rigathi. So that camp, maybe they need something. The agencies are very serious, but they are yet to be organized, which means William Ruto can still become the president, but the mountain will determine. How the mountain will vote will determine how Ruto will fare in those elections. And that's why William Ruto is now focusing. Let me leave them. Our Amanda. Let me now focus on the Luo nation. Let me focus on the Luo nation. And lastly, I think it's about the unfulfilled promises. If there's one mistake William Ruto committed in the last election, was to promise Kenyans heaven, while he knew so well he was heading to hell. William Ruto made promises. None of those promises have been fulfilled. In fact, the other day, Rigathi Gachagua was even mocking him that the only promise you made, which doesn't require any budget, was that of not sabotaging, not frustrating your DP. And you are now frustrating me. And to some extent, let me just add this bonus. I also think it could also be about William Ruto's succession game plan. In case William Ruto will not be able to effect constitutional changes to extend his term in office, who is going to take over from him? I can assure you, William Ruto is keen on someone who is not coming from the mountain. He doesn't want this thing to go back to the mountain. And by doing that, he will win the support of Kenyans, because Raila Odinga was not able to persuade the Kenyans that the Kikuyu Kalenjin presidency needed to move away. I can assure you, Ruto is keen on Musalia Mudavadi. And the only way he can support Musalia Mudavadi is by taking what is the route he's taking. Figure out how he can lock out the mountain, sell Mudavadi, sell himself, win. Then he can now use the same strategy to help Musalia Mudavadi. Because one thing I know for sure, the day William Ruto will leave office, plus what has happened in this country, if Uhuru is not having peace, what about Ruto? The Adani deals and all these other things. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.